said, you think you're trying to fool? You're trying to fool somebody, a dialogue of civilization. Well, who the hell going to represent the civilization? You know, but it's okay. That's why you haven't heard nothing from him. He's been under house arrest for a while. You ever heard anything from him? You heard from Ahmadinejad. He's running around. Why isn't he running around? Why isn't, I ain't going to mention all their names, but there's a whole crew of people you don't hear from. You know, they're not in the penitentiary. They just under house arrest. Maximum security house arrest. You can go to the bathroom and in the yard, or other than that, that's it. People can come see you, can have 3 visits a week. But you can't have no whole big meetings there, like 1,000 people at your house. You know what I mean? You can't do that. I'm not saying that they deserve it or nothing. Anyway, so Ahmadinejad, I think, would be a good either a foreign minister with Zarif in the back of him. Why? Zarif and them, Dr. Karazi and all of them, they control the foreign ministry. That's why they couldn't go to Hezbollah meetings that they can't go to. They can't, that they don't. They know what they control. You see what I mean? But now, on a ticket of national unity, it's when everybody, and this is hard. Last time I talked to Iranians, I was telling them the same thing, and they hated this idea. You can't, these people are so bad, they're you know, and then they describe who they really are. They're trying to sell out the revolution. Okay. Either you can keep that attitude and you can weaken the fabric of the revolution. Now, to me, the thing is held together very well, and it probably will continue just like that. But why take a chance? Incorporate Karazi's people, Zarif and them, all of that liberal crew. I know they're not smart and fast, but they can see, Zarif can see now that you're not running for president of the United States or the Senate, right? In the United, but remember, you would think, you watch him and all, you would think he was running for, you'd think he was from right down the street. And they would be blowing it, they would be playing him like that. They wouldn't be with no real hard, why you do this, why you do that, right? They didn't do that. And he didn't answer like that. Okay? Incorporate all those people so all the rich and all the bootlickers are going to be with them. Bring them along and bring the bootlickers too. Or 40 or 50% of the bootlickers. The people that didn't vote in the last election was all with them. You see what I mean? You could count how many people, 4, 6, 75% or 70 or something like that. Okay, then who didn't go? Their crew didn't go. But in order to manage a country, you have to bring everybody along. Well, you don't have to, but you can't run the country with big gaps. Remember the last thing we had on Shiism, on the Rahba, Vilayati Faqih. All the Muslims here are with them. And I'm not going to call Ayatollahs, but you could tell they're all with, even the Negroes. I said, nigga, what's wrong with you? Yeah, well, I'm with and that, and you know, said, nigga, you is stupid. And y'all ain't even having no custom, y'all ain't doing nothing but sitting out there. You might as well be a Sunni, nigga. Right? Tell the truth. They might as well, what's up? I mean, not to, don't worry about it. I'll straighten it out later. Now, why would I have the right to talk about that? Because when I was in California, I was assaulted, they did this, they did that, and I still say the same thing. That's an example to them. And the president of Iran, I mean, the expert, he knows that, and so do all the other guys. So I'm speaking with authority. On that subject, I'm not going to allow nothing to happen, and I'm not going to do nothing to no Negroes, because the Negroes was made to do whatever they did, right? So I'm a living example. Listen, you can do this. You just got to grow. You're talking about my mama, so what? You're a grown man. Stop hollering, right? They busted me upside the head. I had to go to the hospital. I didn't know my name. I didn't know nothing. I could talk that stuff, and it was true, right? Remember how silly I looked when you came to the hospital? I bet I just looked out of sleep, sitting up there. What's your name? Now, how the hell do I know my name? Where you at? They asked you them questions for a week before. You got to answer them all before you. Where are you at? So I realized that I'm in my room, and I could look. What day is this? So I'm looking at the day. Everybody got to. This is the 21st of January. Where are you at? I'm at GW. Da 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 da. And what's your name? They got everything wrote up there. Then they looked around and said, forget that. Then they come rolling me and walking me outside. What's your name? I'll tell you in a little while. What day is it? It's daylight. You can see all that daylight out there. Why are you asking me a stupid question? What day is day? See that day? You can't see it on the board. You don't even know it. Okay. Now, if I can do that, they can do it. You see what I'm saying? That was the reason for that to happen. Man, look at here. Okay. Well, no, okay. Technically, it's not arrogant. We are about as big as you can get, unless you're just going to wear a name tag, said I'm the president. But I mean, for what we stand for, we're already doing that. I mean, from the way the government feels, from the way everybody else, they know what it is. All this stuff really happens. And there's nobody you could get that can sit right here. And it's done with ease. It ain't even just election's over. So now how could that really get the benefit of that? You got to know what's going on. You got to know the people. You got to know how they act. You got to know how. That's why Iranians used to ask me years ago, Imam Musa, what are we going to do? In other words, what are they going to do back in Iran? That was the main. Anyway, manipulate the system for the good. So we already thanked Allah for freeing up the sons and the daughters. That has to do with there's something called zuhud. Does anybody know what zuhud is? Zuhud. Yeah, good. Yeah, okay, zuhud. Good. It's detachment mainly. It's detachment. That's the simple word. But it's a big deal. Okay? You can do this. Boss man bites the dust because you're not attached to nothing. If you're attached to anything, you can't do that. Because first thing you thinking about, I talk like that, they're going to take my car. If I talk like that, they're going to blow up my house. If they talk right, that's what it means. Boss man. Boss man now is frustrated. Boss man is trapped in a history he produced. Everything we talked about today, whether it's Saudi Arabia and that bum that they supporting, and they kill Khashoggi, and they do this, that, and other, cut him up with a ball. They're trapped in their own history. They're trapped in the whole world watching, and they saying, we're going to put sanctions on the UN. I mean, we're going to put sanctions on Yemen. And the little kids got arms the same size as a finger, right? I'm trying to tell you, the whole world is watching. The whole world do not have to do anything on a certain date. You know what I mean? But imagine the world watching. They said, I thought such and such, no matter what lie they tell on the news, everybody knows it's been 6 years of the invasion of Yemen by Saudi Arabia. And all the weapons come from the UK and the United States, right? And all the atrocities are coming from the other side, right? Everybody knows that. They know that the U.S. spent 20 years in Afghanistan and ain't got nothing for it but wasting a lot of money and slaughtered a lot of people. Don't mention Iraq. Look at Kishore Mahbubani said, he said the U.S. then got trapped in everything, and China ain't got trapped in nothing. So who the hell you think gonna win? What do you mean? Who's gonna win? They already won. They ain't dragging nothing, you know what I mean? You're spending all your money that you don't have, right, on wars. All that money just go to your rich already, to the big companies that produce weapons, right? Concentration of wealth, concentration of the people don't get nothing. Maybe 5 or 10 people work in the defense industry, but nobody else, the whole country don't get that money. In China, plenty of faults. But right now, they're shining like a superstar because all the misery, they're not producing any misery. You know what I mean? They're not producing any misery. And they're talking about, what is it, the Uyghurs? Well, why ain't no Arab talking about them? Ain't no Iranian said it's wrong. Why they got all the Arab countries, China got good relations with them? Why? It's a lie. It's a lie. It's just the only people here they gave a visa, and they talking about it. That stuff. Yeah, that stuff is not happening. It's not happening. Now you see people on the TV, but you got to watch Chinese TV to see it. They're not going to let you see too much Chinese TV here. And they definitely, you see what they did. Why would they, right in the middle of this, pull Press TV again? Why would they pull Al-Manar? Well, I know why they would, from Lebanon. All the Sunnis, all the Arabs, they love Al-Manar years ago. They pulled it. That's the only place they could get good news. What about the people of the world that love Palestine? Is Saudi Arabia helping Palestine? Is all the rich Arabs helping Palestine? Who? Iran that don't have no money hardly. Who? Huh? Cuba. Yeah, but see, you got to remember, at a certain time, sometime the label is just mislabeled. They may mislabel people. But anyway, they probably pray and fast. Anyway, there's many hadith on them too, but I won't go into them now. Here's what we say. The United States was already heading down from Korea, from Vietnam, and all of that. And it had a few little comebacks, and it looked like, in the Bible, Quran, when it says something happened in one day, well, like if it was the whole universe, everything in 6 days, it don't mean 6 24 hours.